James Monroe was born on April 28, 1758, in Westmoreland, Virginia. He was the eldest of 5 children in the family of Spence and Elizabeth Jones Monroe. His father was a planter and carpenter, and his mother came from a family of Scottish immigrants. James received a good education and entered the College of William and Mary in Virginia in 1774. In 1776, during the American Revolution, Monroe left college and joined the Continental Army. He served under George Washington and participated in several significant battles, including the Battle of Trenton, where he was wounded. After the war, Monroe studied law under Thomas Jefferson and was admitted to the bar in 1782. Monroe began his political career in 1782 when he was elected to the Virginia House of Delegates. In 1783, he became a member of the Continental Congress, and in 1790, he was elected to the U.S. Senate. In 1794, President George Washington appointed Monroe as minister to France, where he served until 1796. In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson appointed Monroe as a special envoy to negotiate the purchase of Louisiana from France. Monroe successfully completed the negotiations, and the Louisiana Purchase doubled the territory of the United States. In 1808, Monroe was elected governor of Virginia, and in 1811, he became Secretary of State under President James Madison. In 1816, James Monroe was elected the 5th President of the United States and served 2 terms until 1825. His presidency was marked by a period known as the Era of Good Feelings, when the country experienced economic growth and political stability. One of Monroe's most significant achievements was the proclamation of the Monroe Doctrine in 1823, which declared non-interference by European powers in American affairs and the protection of the independence of new American states. After completing his presidential term, Monroe returned to Virginia and continued to engage in public activities. He also served as a regent of the University of Virginia, which was founded by his friend and colleague Thomas Jefferson. James Monroe died on July 4, 1831, at the age of 73. His legacy lives on, and he remains one of the most significant figures in U.S. history. Interesting facts about James Monroe. Last Founding Father President. Monroe was the last U.S. president who was one of the founding fathers of the country. Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine, proclaimed in 1823, became the foundation of U.S. foreign policy for many decades and declared non-interference by European powers in American affairs. Role in the Louisiana Purchase. Monroe played a key role in the Louisiana Purchase from France in 1803, which doubled the territory of the United States and opened new opportunities for expansion and development. Military service. Monroe served in the Continental Army during the American Revolution and was wounded in the Battle of Trenton. Long marriage. James and Elizabeth Monroe were married for over 40 years. Their marriage was strong and happy, and they supported each other throughout their lives. Involvement in the creation of the University of Virginia. Monroe actively participated in the creation of the University of Virginia alongside Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. He believed that education was a key factor for the nation's success and prosperity. Support for Latin American independence. Monroe supported the independence of new Latin American states and established diplomatic relations with them. Economic policy. During his presidency, Monroe aimed to strengthen the national economy and support industrial development. He also supported the creation of a national bank and the development of transportation infrastructure. Influence on international relations. Monroe played a significant role in shaping U.S. foreign policy, especially in relations with European powers. His efforts to strengthen the country's independence and sovereignty contributed to the enhancement of the U.S.'s international standing. Monuments and legacy. Numerous monuments, schools, and institutions across the country are named in Monroe's honor. His legacy continues to live on in American culture and history. Role in creating the Virginia Constitution. Monroe played an important role in creating the Virginia Constitution, which became a model for other states and influenced the U.S. Constitution. Diplomatic mission to Spain. In 1805, Monroe was appointed as a special envoy to Spain to negotiate the purchase of Florida. Although the negotiations were unsuccessful, his efforts laid the groundwork for subsequent negotiations. Support for road and canal construction. Monroe actively supported the construction of roads and canals to improve the country's transportation infrastructure. He believed that developing the transportation network was a key factor for economic growth. Involvement in the creation of the U.S. Naval Academy. Monroe supported the idea of creating the U.S. Naval Academy and contributed to its founding. He believed that a strong navy was an important element of national security. Monroe and science. Monroe was passionate about science and technology. He supported scientific research and conducted experiments in various fields, including agriculture and meteorology.